ESPN is going to be moving on from Major League Baseball in a move that just dramatically shakes up the baseball sports landscape. ESPN and Major League Baseball, they've decided to part ways after the 2025 season, and they're ending a 35-year relationship between ESPN and Major League Baseball. And in a statement, ESPN said, "We are grateful for our long-standing relationship with Major League Baseball and proud of how ESPN's coverage super serves fans. In making this decision, we applied the same discipline and fiscal responsibility that has built ESPN's industry-leading live events portfolio as we continue our audience across linear, digital, and social platforms. As we have been throughout the process, we remain open to exploring new ways to serve MLB fans across our platforms beyond 2025. Now, there was a source close to the situation that says the decision was mutual, with Major League Baseball essentially happy to test the open market to get a better deal. Now, as ESPN pointed out, they need to look for other ways to use their platform to get eyeballs on the screen, to have sports other than the NFL and the NBA for fans. And I think that this deal, where you look at the financials of it, they're opting out of a $550 million yearly agreement to get a better deal. Well, I mean, you look at what Roku's paying, you look at what Apple's paying, it's not the same. And I think if you're Major League Baseball, you need to fight to stay on ESPN. And yes, it's very different. If you look at cord cutters, in 2011, that was the peak. ESPN was in 111 million households. This season's at 53 million. That has been cut in half. So the truth is that even if you're going to get a deal done with another network or a streaming service, it's not ESPN. And ESPN has its reach through social media, through YouTube, through podcasts, has it impact guys like Jeff Passan and Buster Olney and guys that have been closely tied to the game. Well, there was a recent report that Major League Baseball and ESPN are going to pick up talks again and try to figure something out. One reporter, The Athletic's Evan Drellich, he talked a lot about the media rights deals. He was on a show about the ESPN situation, and he said, "I'm not of the opinion that this is really the end of Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. We saw MLB Rob Manfred and Diamond Sports Group and Sinclair go through a very, very, very ugly process, only in the end to have MLB reunite with Diamond in several different markets. Compared to that, this is pretty tame." So this could be a leverage play on both sides, but ESPN used to be one of the premier destinations for Major League Baseball. And the ESPN that we knew and loved, that became the four letters synonymous with sports, they have been the polar opposite of what we saw in the 90s, right? I mean, Sports Center in the 90s and the 2000s, I remember being super young, watching Sports Center again and again and again. And you had some of the best personalities, from Rich Eisen to Stuart Scott to Dan Patrick, and the shows that really were the reason why you fell in love with it. I mean, Baseball Tonight with Carl Ravitch and Peter Gammons and everyone associated with the show, it was so huge. But to me, ESPN to sports is like what MTV is to music now. You just don't see enough of it on their networks. And look, if ESPN just wants to be an NBA and a NFL network, then that's going to be their decision, because that's essentially what they are at this point. It is a NBA, college basketball, NFL, SEC. That is what they're doing. But hey, it's baseball, man. Do you really want to go away from it? Because it's the national pastime. Say what you want. I mean, I'm sick of ESPN just not giving the sport the shine that it deserves. Because look, the truth is, look, the World Series outrated the NBA Finals last season. And I think you look at the direction of baseball, teams like the Dodgers, the Yankees, superstars like Ohtani and Judge, it's certainly trending in the right direction. And I'd be pretty shocked if they couldn't come to an agreement. I think if on Major League Baseball side too, I think it'd be downright stupid not to find a way to continue their relationship, because ESPN is still ESPN. And the last thing you want to do is regionalize the entire sport. One of the biggest differences between the NBA and Major League Baseball is regionally, the regional networks are more healthy than a lot of the NBA regional networks as far as overall viewership. And if they want to go towards that model, I think it's dangerous for the overall popularity of the sport. But I do think there's a chance they get a deal done. Some more reporting on it says that they're going to go for the highest bidder and take a long-term deal, hopefully through that'll start in 2028 when the other national media coverage comes up with Fox and other teams. So yeah, well, I'm a nerd about this stuff. So, I mean, $550 for Major League Baseball seems like a steal if I'm ESPN.